Happy New Year, morons! It should be Happy New Year for us because this is April 1st, April Fool's Day, which for the Moron Army, Victor's Give Me a Flake Man, Japaneseformorons channel, and you guys, my Moron Army, which I call you, only out of love, only out of sweet, deep love. A love that just comes from an inner place, way, way, way behind the heart, behind the heart. It's even behind the heart. Yes, that's how deep it is. But I'm sick, actually. I had a party on Saturday night, a going away party for a friend of mine, and stayed out a little bit late. Not too late, because I had to work Sunday. Because once a month we offer these special advanced classes to members only. You have to be invited to these more challenging classes called Super Listening Class once a month. And anyway, I had the Sunday class, and I was feeling kind of peaceful because I had prepared well. And I gave a good lesson. I was excited about my lesson. That's one of the keys to being a good teacher. You have to be actually excited about what you're teaching. And after that, I called the wife. Actually, I stuck around the school and watched a 10-minute video of C.K. Lewis because I love C.K. Lewis. Or is it Louis C.K.? Louis C.K. See, I'm sick, guys. Hey, give me a break. So I watched a Louis C.K. video about how he likes to smack his kids and stuff. I like it when he calls children little whiny bastards or something akin to that. You get the vibe. But anyway, went home. My wife met me at the station with Maggie, and we walked around because in our neighborhood, of course, like in almost any neighborhood I would imagine in Japan, you're gonna find some cherry trees. And we walked around and I took pictures of cherry trees. And then we went home, and I was like, oh man, I'm really not feeling strong, And I popped the SD chip into her computer to give her some pictures of Maggie we had taken. She loves those pictures of Maggie. And before I knew it, she'd made me some lunch, and I ate it, and then I fell asleep on the couch. Well, I laid out on the couch because I knew I was sick. I'm like, I'm just gonna take it easy. And I've been sick ever since. I didn't. I wasn't gonna drink yesterday, but right before bed, I had a little shot of whiskey, a little medicine, as I like to tell myself. But not the usual two beers or so. But woke up this morning, and this is the gross part. Woke up and had just that awful feeling in your throat. It's lumpy, and you go and you spit, and then you look in the sink, and you're like, oh god, I'm dying. It's over. This is looks like tuberculosis or something. I think that's part of my lung came out. But it's actually not that bad. It seems to be temporary, and I think part of it is due to the fact that I had a really good week. I had worked hard, made a lot of lessons. I had a really nice job offer out of the blue, which is always nice, and met I told you, I went to a party Saturday night and met a lot of new people. And when everything's going well and you can feel like you can relax a little, that for me at least, that's when illness strikes. And that's what happened to me. But instead of doing my typical question and answer video, which I've been doing recently, I've got literally, I don't know, like 36 questions behind. I'm way behind on questions, and I don't know, I probably shouldn't do it because the more of these I do, the more questions I seem to be getting. So it's almost like I'm shooting myself in the foot with these things. But anyway, instead of doing the usual question answer video, just me staring into a camera in a room, I thought I would show you some pictures because I'm quite an avid photographer. I'm not a good photographer. I'll be the first to admit that, but I'm an avid photographer, and I like looking at things and taking pictures of things. And these are a few of the pictures that you see in front of you. Some of the film here. These are just some of the things that I like. I took pictures of, but I don't really know what to do with them. As in, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to make a video out of these things. So we'll just use that to stimulate your visual, your optical nerves while I answer a question. So let's get on to one of the questions. But before that, just so you know, the pictures that you're seeing today are just random pictures of this year of cherry blossoms and things that I've seen in my walking around, my daily life in Japan. But most of it's nature related. Okay, so let's get to the first question. The first question is an old one from Zepper, who basically, long story short, says I think she's got a Japanese boyfriend who says in English, even though it's cold, when I'm with you, my heart is hot. And he tried to clear up this expression by saying that his heart is dancing. And she asked me if there was anything akin to that, like an idiom or some kind of anything in Japanese related to that expression, my heart is dancing. And I asked a few students, and of course they're like, why are you asking me? Like, they think I want to tell my wife or a girl or something, right? But no, it's just, no, anyway, long story short, nobody really had any answer for me. And as far as I can tell, there really isn't an expression for my heart is dancing or, you make me feel warmer. It's just, the guy was just trying to be romantic in his own way. So there are, of course, my heart is dancing. We do say in English, and there is an expression. There's a kanji. I don't even know how to spell it. I guess kokoro odoru, which means my heart is dancing. But let me look it up here. It is, kokoro odoru, to be thrilled, to be excited. So maybe that's what he was saying. Maybe he was just looking at the kanji. Kokoro odoru yorokobi no uta, a song that makes your heart dance with joy. That's all I can think of. But anyway, that's one quick question out of the way. It's kind of romantic and fits these flowers that you see in front of you, right? So let's go on with that one. That's from Zepper. That's from Zepper. So thank you for the question, Zepper. And I hope your relationship goes well. Oh, regarding the last the long distance relationship video I did a couple of days ago, I really I think I hurt the girl's feelings who I answered. I wasn't meaning to. I guess I got to be more sensitive. Like I said in the video, I don't mind people, unsubbing for me making fun of them. But the thing about that email was she said that she had a long distance relationship with someone that she had never met before, right? I mean, that's my impression. And I think if you've met someone and you have a long distance relationship, then it's possible. But even if you have met, if the chances of you really being together are very, very difficult, again, I would say, if you have other opportunities, go for other opportunities. Life is short, and I think it's better when you're young to experience lots of different relationships with different people as often as possible, and not just kind of keep yourself tied down to a computer monitor or an internet relationship. I don't think it's the best use of time. I mean, life is short. Go out there, get stuff done, experience life. That's my feeling. By the way, I want to say thank you to a guy named Michael X, who is from Michael Music Productions, and he's made the Tomoko Sensei music, and he's made another song for me that's really, really cool, which you will hear in the near future. But I want to say thank you to Michael. If you haven't heard those songs, they're really cool, and hopefully we're going to figure out a way that you can actually download them and actually maybe get a full-length track of Tomoko's voice, because what he does with Tomoko's voice is really funny and entertaining. I mean, it's fun to hear those little songs. So hopefully, and if you like the songs, please leave it in the comments to encourage Michael to go on with this. I'm actually willing to pay the guy. I mean, they're so cool. I'm not sure how much they're worth, just my own entertainment, I guess, just my own joy. But okay, let's go on to another question. Here's another question from a guy named Ewan, who has a band. I think he is in maybe Edinburgh in Scotland. Anyway, he's got a band called Lost in Audio, and he hooked me up with a link to their video, and it's a really damn good video. I would say it's kind of the quality is very, very high. I wouldn't, I'm not a professional, and everyone's got their own taste in music. And they got the look. They're all handsome and young and all that crap. Skinny. And anyway, he was wondering if he has any advice. He's a drummer in this band, Lost in Audio, and they're unsigned, and they're talking with major labels, including Sony. But they said they would not invest in them until they had 400,000 views on YouTube, which I find kind of not a big deal. I mean, I've got 12 million on just this channel, and maybe 20 some odd million on just YouTube on all my combined channels, and I'm unsigned. Of course, it's a whole different ball game for me. Anyway, so they've only just started to make a dent. I think they got 8 or 9,000 views. But I guess they're interested in touring. He says he's a bit of a Japanophile, and he went to Japan a few years ago, and he loved the place. He wants to go back and play some shows, and if it's possible, do you have any advice for bands touring Japan? No, I don't. The only thing I can say is I guess you'd have to contact the venues separately. And one of the things about playing bands in Japan that kind of sucks is that, and I suppose it's the same all over the world, is that you have to, if you're a band and you want to play music in Japan, you have to book a place. And you have to guarantee a certain amount of people will show up, or you've got to pay the difference. And then you get to keep whatever their minimum is. I think they call it gara. So, for example, if you rent a place at the Spider, which is a made-up bar, if you rent a place at the Spider, then they might say, well, you need to bring like I don't know, 10 people or 15 people, and they each have to pay 3,000 yen each. And after that, you can keep all of the money or part of them or most of the money. It's something like that. So if you're coming from overseas and you have no real following in Japan, if you're an indie band, you'll have people who wander in just to see something new. And it's actually a great idea. I've often thought if I had more time, I would just like to go to bands, because some of the live houses are really cheap. I went to one the other day with 11 Colors, and I think it was 1,500, and it was all you can drink. So wow. And then you get to hang out in a live house and listen to like 3 or 4 bands, and in that particular night they were all girl bands, so it was a special treat for us. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what the deal is. So I think it would be hard to come overseas and actually recoup any of the money that the travel cost would, it would be pretty expensive. So and he says that's the main issue for them. Until you get known, it'd be pretty hard, because if you don't have a fan base. So it's not really feasible for this guy. But if you guys do have a chance, go check him out. It's called Lost in Audio, and they've got a pretty good track. Got a pretty good track there, so check it out. Okay. That's from Ewan. That's from Ewan. Lost in Audio. Answered. Okay, let's go on. Next question. From Kevin. I'm a big fan of your YouTube page, and I had a question for you. I live in America and recently met someone who had spent the last few years teaching in Japan. He told me he did not have a degree, but just used a fake one to obtain a visa and didn't get any problems. Well, he didn't have any problems. Is this common? No, I don't think it's common. Does the Japanese government not care to check the degrees when people... Yeah, they check, but I mean... I don't think they're going to call the university and ask, hey, did this guy actually go to your school? They look at a fake degree. It looks real. If you showed me a degree from Scotland, I wouldn't know what it's supposed to look like, right? For example, the previous message. If you showed me any degree from another country, or even in America, probably I wouldn't be able to tell you if it were real or not. So you can fake a lot of stuff. I do not recommend it. I guess you'd have to go to a lot of trouble to make it look real, and I guess someone could find out. I was watching NYPD Blue, and they had one of the culprits, one of the skells as they call them on that show, said he actually sent away for a college ring so he could tell people he went to college, but he never went to college. So yeah, you could go to all that trouble, I suppose, but if you're uneducated, I mean, how would you even know if you're do uneducated people know they're uneducated? I mean, you have to be able to spell well and have some fundamental background. But when it comes to language, no. I guess you can get away with it. No, I've known people who've done it. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it though. I mean, I guess if you get caught, you just kicked out of the country, and maybe that's even a crime. Something. Maybe they would kick you out, and you wouldn't be able to come back for a long time. So, sorry, I don't know. Anyway, that's that answer to Kevin. Don't get a fake degree. I guess that would be my own recommendation. But like I said to a friend of mine who actually was coming over a while ago, he didn't have a degree and he wanted to come over and he had no job. And I said, don't bother, because you're not going to get a job. Chances are very low. And I said, if you're gonna bother, then maybe you should get a fake degree. So I'm not. My morals on that are not super hard, super strong, but because, in the end, if you're just working at an eikaiwa, really, like I said, how much damage can you do? But here's a strange thing. I've known a couple guys who, one of them actually never even finished high school. He came over here and he became a university professor using fake degrees. So There you go. What can I say about that? It's possible. There are bigger fakes in the States. So you hear about this all the time. Everyone saw that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can. The guy was a doctor and a lawyer. And I don't think maybe he just finished high school, right? So anyway, let me take a sip of water, excuse me. I hate it when people drink on camera, but you will forgive me because I am ill. Okay, let me get another one done here. Next question comes from Tanner. Hey, Tanner says, hey, Victor, I've been watching your videos for about a year now, and I really love your channel, and I had a few questions regarding how Japanese people view Americans. I would appreciate it greatly if you could respond to this, but if you're busy, no problem at all. I always get that. Hey, don't worry. It's like I'm going to stay up late. And this guy is 16 years old from Minnesota. Cool. Well, let's see. Thanks, young people, for reaching out to this old geezer. By the way, for those of you who actually think that 45 is old, wait till you get to be 45. It's not old at all, ladies and gentlemen. I can still run pretty strong and hard, and I can, anyway, yeah, just wait till you get older. It's not old. I have heard from a few people that quite a few Japanese people hold a grudge against Americans for what happened during World War II. I honestly don't expect them to forgive us for what happened, but I am honestly saddened for both sides in that war. This is nice. This is a 16-year-old kid who actually is still, I guess, pure at heart. Pure in his heart. He's pure. He's still sincere. Anyway, he said, it was, to say the least, a shitstorm. A shitastrophe. Oh, there it is. That's a new word for me. A shitastrophe. That's a cool word. I would like to know if you believe that this is true, and if it is, then how would I go about getting around the issue if it ever comes up? I love the Japanese language and the culture along with most parts of Japan, but I really feel saddened by this tense subject revolving on a war that happened so long ago. Would you say it is right for me to apologize for what is happening and being an American? I don't think that apologizing for being an American is quite right, considering my generation, along with my parents' generation, had nothing to do with the war. I would have never asked a Japanese person to apologize, and I understand the large amount of time that has passed, along with the majority of the Japanese population being against the war with America at the time. To sum it up, I would say, would you say there is a tension between Americans and Japanese today? And if so, how should I go about solving this issue? Thanks again, Victor. I don't really see much tension, and I don't really feel that people hate Americans at all or hold a grudge at all. So I should have just answered that way. Sorry for the long answer. But maybe a lot of you feel that way. Maybe if you've never come to Japan, you might think that Japan is just, holds a grudge. Maybe that's more of an American thing to hold a grudge. I really don't know. I can't say that I wouldn't hold a grudge. I would think that Americans might hold a grudge longer than other countries, because we have more of that patriotic feeling, like it's us. I don't think Japanese have that. I mean, they do have that, definitely that Japanese are different feeling, Japanese are special feeling, but I don't think that holding a grudge is in the Japanese psyche. Is that the word? That's Maggie back there speaking. Anyway, yeah, so if you come over, just be a good person, be respectful, and you should have no problems. I don't think anyone's gonna show you any negativity just because you're American. Okay. This is coming up on 18 minutes, so I think I'm going to wrap up there. But I do also want to, if you got this far, do me a favor and go over to Jennifer's channel. Jennifer is NihonJenn, and give her video another view and another comment. She's in a competition, and I'd like her to win because I'd like her to get the hell out of Japan. I'm just kidding. No, if she wins, she can leave Japan and travel around the world, and they're going to pay for it all. So that would be really cool. Well, we're on the 19 mark, so I'm going to let it go. But thanks for watching. These are some pictures of some birds that I took. It took like 50 pictures to get one decent one, so it's pretty hard. I hope you appreciate it. There's also some film in the beginning of the video that with the birds popping around. I really enjoyed filming that. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to go watch Walking Dead now, the last episode, I think. I'm really excited. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, don't ruin it by leaving any spoilers in this video. Just tell me if you're a Walking Dead fan. Is that just me? I mean, don't you guys love that show? It's a great show, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.